Hello everybody, I'm glad you're here today. Today is August 14th, 2026. In this video, we're going to touch on what's going on with the war. I'm going to show you a product I just discovered that is amazing. I know I'm always late to the party on these things, but I'm going to show it to you. You're going to love it. And then we're going to read out of the Bible. So here we go. Because I have company coming this weekend and I'm baking tomorrow, today I've been cleaning the last little bits of things that have to get done the last minute, like the floor. I mean, if you clean the floor too early in the week, you're just going to have to clean it again at the end of the week, right? So anyway, I've been doing that, and then we're fixing to do some other things. So I am just totally a little bit pressed today, just ever so slightly, more than I like. Not gonna lie, I do not like to be pressured. I have the luxury of time usually, but it doesn't feel like I do right now. Do you know how that feels? You're like, hey, I think I have earned a little bit of like wiggle room when it comes to, but it could be my lack of good time management. Now that one could very well be the culprit of why I'm feeling a little pressured right now, because I have a friend, and when it comes to potlucks, it's like we don't like to work in the kitchen. We're the entertainment, all right? So I know there's kitchen people, those ladies that just love working in the kitchen. I hate it. I don't love working in the kitchen at a potluck. I've done it hundreds of times, and I will do it gladly. It's just not, if I have a choice, man, I'll be out there making people laugh more than in there cleaning pots and pans. Anyway, so, and there's this horrible fly in here. I may have to just kill it right in front of y'all. Anyway, let's move right on. I'm going to show you, this is, look, I found this. It's silicone. This is a roll of, it's 6 feet of baking silicone, all right, and a 12 inches by 6 feet. It was like 25% off on Amazon. If you can trust that discount, doesn't even matter. It did get me to buy it. So whatever the psychological thing that comes with discounts, I fell for it. So let me show y'all. I know you know what silicone looks like. I got into using silicone when I'm baking, back in 2020, when I was like, okay, I was like prepping, and I thought, what if I can't get cans of Pam and I don't have Crisco? Because, before Pam, we all use Crisco, right? And so I thought, what if I can't get that? Then, it would be nice not to have my stuff stick to the bottom of the pan. And I discovered baking silicone, and I know that I am late to this party. I didn't know it existed. So then, y'all, I've been working on my stupid chicken coop. I'm done with it as of now. Nearly. I've got one more thing to do. But this chicken coop worked for the older chickens, but it will not work for the littler chickens because the nesting box is just too small. I made it too small. And so I needed to fix it and make it bigger. Mike and I worked on it for a little bit. Then we had this big fight. And now I'm working on it by myself. Did you ever have that? Now, we're coming up to our 40th wedding anniversary, y'all. So it's not like anything bad. I'm just saying. So I was like, there is this gap. And chicken coops, mine are just kind of thrown together with duct tape and baling wire. That's just the nature of chicken coops in my yard. I see all these nice fancy ones on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you young people can do that. I'm just putting together what I can get for free. Anyway, I got this. I got the roof onto the nesting box that sticks out so I can lift up and just gather the eggs right out of the nesting box. Well, there is a gap, okay? I mean, the whole thing's not even square. There's a gap about this big between the wall and where the roof of the nesting box starts. And I could not fix it because the wood's warped. All right, I just found it. You know what I'm saying? Making it work. I was like, I don't care, we can figure that out. So I've been like having plastic on there for the summer when it rained, until I figured out what to do. Well, I found this, y'all, and I thought, heck yeah. So I needed something that would bend. I know there's metal stuff, flashing, I think is what it's called, but I was like, I don't know. I can't. I don't know about that. I'm sure it's the correct thing to get, but I decided to just get some baking silicone. Okay, so I'll show you. Like, this is a reveal for me too. Okay, it's all wrapped in tissue paper, super nice. And I haven't seen rubber bands in a long time, but it has rubber bands on it. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Anyway, you can cut these rolls to fit the sizes of your pan, which I'm real excited about, because I also have some. Sometimes I like to make layer cakes. I suck at it. I mean, the cake's good, but it doesn't ever look good, which is okay with me. I don't really care. But I just want that cake to come out of that pan without like tearing at the bottom. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. This is great. Oh yes, Miss Gina gonna be using this. Oh, I'm excited about this. Oh yeah. Now I do have a. I don't think that's 12 inches. It might be. It might be. Okay, so this is like really nice quality. Some of my I do have just silicone like already fitted, and I've used it so much and I've cut on it so much it has cuts in it. But this would be like freaking fantastic. Okay, enough of me drooling over this. This is great stuff. You might want to get, I mean, it, and you know what? If you don't use it for bacon, you can use it on your chicken coop, right? So there you go. I love this. Wow. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, let me get a rubber band on this now. Oh, if I can do it without dropping it. Do you ever, like, your fingers will not work anymore? I'm like, what is wrong with my fingers? Okay, there you go. Get you some silicone. I'm sure there's, like, what else could I use this for? Y'all put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section. Okay, now then, let's talk about the war in the Middle East. And then we're going to read out of the Bible. Doesn't it feel like it's over? I mean, like I was talking to the Lord about it this morning. I was like, Lord, it feels like it's over. Like, are we done? Is it over? Like, what are we doing now? And I realize we're trying to break them economically. Okay. I'm not really delving in deep into like the strategy of what's really happening. Clearly, it feels like a lull. And what I'm gathering and what the Lord seems to be teaching me is there are lulls in every war where there are ebb and flows. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm not a student of history when it comes to war. I do love history, but I haven't studied the wars. I know, like, when I say this, y'all may think I'm completely like stupid, but my frame of reference would be like the show MASH, okay? And how sometimes there seemed to be, that was the Korean War, there seemed to be times where, and there was an episode where there was nothing happening, there was no war, and they were really, really bored, but they were still stuck over there because, and I guess my guess is that's what's happening now, that whatever's going on, I don't know if it's going to fire up again or if we're just going to it's going to just go away and all our troops are going to come home and we'll go, okay, let's call it good. I don't know what that was, but it was something. So I can't, I don't know what's going to happen. It feels very odd right now. So what I'm doing, I'm just enjoying, I plan to enjoy the fall. Fall is my favorite. And so I'm deciding that if it is this quiet on that front, then I'm going to just chill and be thankful. Just be thankful. I know that prices are high. I know that our bills are expensive. I know that gas is high. I know that people are on edge. But but there are still things we can find to be thankful for and tell our Creator God, thank you. And it may be as simple as Today, my fingers worked pretty good to get those rubber bands on that silicone, right? I don't know. But anyway, those are things I'm thinking about. I had talked to this person. I'll tell you this conversation I had. I talked to this person who's very close. I'm very close with them. And I was like, Southern Prepper One came on. I don't know if y'all watch his channel. Came on a few days ago, maybe a week ago, and mentioned that a lot of our American bases had been hit in the Middle East, and many of them were not even being used. That our troops are actually living in military vehicles out in the middle of the desert and just trying to function without being on a base itself. And so he was telling that story, and I was like, I had heard we had bases that were hit, but I didn't know to what extent at all. So I was telling this person, I said, I think a lot of our bases have been hit in the Middle East. And this person said, no, they haven't. That would be all over the news. And I said, I'm not, I don't watch every single piece of news. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. And they were like, even if one American base was hit, we would just blow a gasket and go ballistic and absolutely sweep in. And America wouldn't stand for that. So this person absolutely didn't believe that any of our bases had been hit in the Middle East. So I thought, well, I don't know. Let me do my own research. So when I Googled that, I found out, and this is what was on this information AI generated. I don't know how correct it is. It said between 20 and 28 American bases had been hit in the Middle East, many of which were not even functional anymore. They were unable to be used. Not Some of them had minor damage, some of them had major damage on parts of it, and some of them were absolutely not usable at all anymore. So clearly, the philosophy, or to me, the antiquated thinking of there was a time when if a U.S. embassy or U.S. military base was attacked, we would absolutely just respond with a vengeance. But it doesn't feel like that's the way it is anymore. Is that what y'all are getting? Like, am I alone here? Because I know I'm alone here. I know I live in very isolated, sheltered circle. My life is very small. My circle is very small. So tell me what y'all think, and especially those of you in the military. What do you what are you getting any word, any insight into that situation? That's concerning to me. That bothers me slightly. I'm like, well, that's not optimal. So switching gears, and then I got to get going. I got to get back out, and I got to get back out and water my garden, and my chickens are just roasting. I'm going to go out there, and they're going to be like chicken nuggets in that run. They're going to be going, I'm like, oh, we're having fried chicken tonight, y'all. So I've got to get some water on them, some mister. I'm still misting my chickens often. So let me read an encouraging, what we're all, as believers, what we're all working towards. Uh, I love this verse. I love this passage. And I do read it often because it reminds me of the end game. The war is already run. The spiritual war has already been won. And we need to come at everything that we do in Jesus with that realization and that truth. So let's go to Revelation 21, verse 5. And the one sitting on the throne said, look, I am making everything new. And then he said to me, to John, write this down, for what I tell you is trustworthy and true. And he also said, it is finished. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To all who are thirsty, I will give freely from the springs of the water of life. I'll take it. All who are victorious will inherit all these blessings, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. So as we go into the weekend, y'all, remember whose you are. I tell you, when my kids leave the house, even now, I mean, I have adult children living at home, and we leave each other alone. Basically, we respect each other and try not to get up into each other's business too much. And I still consider, we still disciple them. Mike and I, we are not their parent. We're not parenting, so to speak, but we look at them as our brother and sister in Christ Jesus, and we disciple them as best as we can to Christ. So not that this, but I don't even know if this applies to this, what I just said or not, but every time they leave the house, I'll say, remember whose you are. Remember whose you are. And they go, yep, yep. And it's not a sassy, snarky, yep. Yeah, I belong to Jesus Christ, the King, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings. Remember whose you are, y'all, and live your life accordingly. If you don't know Jesus, visit with him. Start the conversation. Ask him to come into your life. Ask him to reveal himself to you. Become baptized. Find a way, where, place, somewhere to experience baptism. It represents the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. We participate in that. It's symbolic. Washing away your sins. Romans chapter 6. You can just go there and read that if you need to in your Bible. So, y'all, now's the time to hook onto Jesus. On a side note, before I end this, I did have a telephone conversation with Miss Linda yesterday, so I do have some Bubby and Linda stories. I'm trying to decide how much I should tell y'all. How much is public? How well can we keep this like a PG-13 kind of channel? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that next week. Until then, stay safe, America. From the pantry, this is Gina Lee Macharlie. I'm out.